getting set for the show tonight in body hug and ripped jeans. We took a decision to let our people know that you don't have to wear rags, red rags, dress in grasses to be an authentic practitioner and adherent of Omenana. You could be a top fashion icon and still be living fully by Omenana. I think everybody that wants to be fair would concede that Remy Ilona lives Omenana, talks about it, preaches it, propagates it. But I am telling you, as you see me tonight, I'm in my elements. Sometimes you will also see me in a business suit with my red face. It's all part of the business. So let's get into the business of tonight, which is a discussion about a book that is many thousands of years old that cites Omenana. Thank you. This book we are referring to, this book we are talking about, is none other than the Bible. Recently, a question forced me to really think about what I'm going to talk about now. A very brilliant rabbi, a very brilliant Sephardic Jewish rabbi, posed a question to some leaders of Omenana defenders. The question was, does any book cite Omenana? It dawned on me the correct answer just came into my head. The Hebrew Bible cites Omenana. Omenana was the tradition, the oral tradition, the way of life that the Israelites lived by, that the scribes of Israel put into writing. And it got to us as the Bible we know today. Without wasting time, I'll buttress my point with strong examples. I'll start from the ancestor of the Hebrew people himself, the figure initially called Abram, and afterwards called Abraham, the Hebrew. When his wife Sarah died, Abraham approached the people he was sojourning in their land. The Bible referred to them as the sons of Heth. He requested for a piece of land to bury his dead out of his sight. These people, realizing the value of this iconic figure, offered that he should take the land free of charge. Abraham said no, that he preferred to pay for the land. Well, he paid for the land. What he did thousands of years ago that we read about in the Bible today was what the Igbos or is what the Igbo people do in 2023. Igbos possess, own a lot of land in the country called Nigeria, outside their own ancestral territory that I call Igbo land sometimes, and sometimes I call it the Hebrew Igbo republics. Igbos own large, vast areas of land outside this place. Igbos bought all the land. If you give an Igbo man or an Igbo woman a piece of land free, he will insist on paying for the land. This was what the scribes of Israel put down, and it got to us as the Bible. But if you are not very, very familiar with the experiences of the Igbos, you will think that what you read about in Genesis is just a story, while actually it was the ancestors of the Israelites who were the scribes, passing down laws, traditions, and morals, telling us exactly how to deal with land. I hope it clicks. Another example. On getting to Deuteronomy 21, verse 23, while dealing with a person who became unfortunate enough to be hanged on a tree, the Bible there's a statement in the Bible that if you are not very familiar with Igbo customs and traditions, you'll be at a loss. The Bible says that a person that is hanged on a tree that the body is a curse. Well, in Omenana, if somebody hangs himself on a tree, the body is taboo. The only people that have the right, the prerogative to cut down the body, perform purification before the body is disposed, are priests from Unri. The Unri people are a major part of the Levites, a major part of the Levitic community of Israel among the Igbo. Our hero, Chinua Achebe, wrote about this in Things Fall Apart. The protagonist of the book, Okonkwo, was pressured and forced to hang himself on a tree by colonial Britain. When the district commissioner approached the grandees of Umuofia, they took them to where Okonkwo's body was dangling from the tree. And his best friend, Obi Erika, took out time to explain that you've denied this man a worthy burial. His body cannot even be touched because the body had become profane because he hung himself on a tree. Go right now to Deuteronomy 21. The body of a person that is hanged on a tree is a curse. Still getting into another one, let us even examine the term Omenana. If you translate it to English, what you will find is religion, culture you do in the land. Interestingly, that was exactly what God, speaking through Moses in Deuteronomy 6:1, told the Israelites that their way of life was, or is, if you prefer the present tense. God said, what you have been taught are things you shall do in the land. And to the Igbos, the only term for religion and culture are things you shall do in the land. So what are we even saying? to make it clearer. This rabbi wanted to know if there is a book or if there are books that cite Omenana, just like the Mishnah, the Talmud, the Gemara cite provisions of Judaism. The canon law cites provisions of Catholicism. It rang in my head. The Hebrew Bible is citing Omenana. And by the way, there are sections of the New Testament that people in the scholarly community agree that they were written by people who were Israelites or Jewish. Like the book of Matthew. These are distinct, these are different from books written by people who may not have been Israelites, or even if they were Israelites, they were cut off from the traditions of Israel. Interestingly, Omenana helps to throw light on some of the traditions that these people believed to be Hebrews or Israelites or Jews wrote in the book called the New Testament, which I must make haste to explain. The central ideas in it don't rhyme with the central ideas in Omenana. But for these sections of it that scholars agree that they were produced by people that came from Israelite stock, you find some traditions that Omenana can throw light on. I will come up with just one example. The New Testament in the book of Matthew told a story about Joseph, the father of Jesus, not being married to Mary, the mother, but betrothed. They were betrothed. To really understand what's going on, you have to also look at another passage in the same story that says, when he discovered that she was pregnant, he did not want to divorce her, but they were not married. You have to know Igbo culture to understand what's going on. Betrothal stands for marriage. If an Igbo man up to 2023 finds a woman of his choice, engages in what is called imego, that is paying of bride price, they can go on and even have children. When they become more financially stable, they can engage in what is called Ebanku and Emogodo. Emogodo is the final celebration of marriage. That was what Ruth, the daughter-in-law of Naomi, proposed to Boaz, the great-grandfather of King David. She said, "Cover me with your garment." Imma Ogodo in the Igbo language means covering with the garment. This is the celebration of the marriage. The betrothal comes before it, and the betrothal has what? The force of full marriage. So, is it not clear? The scribes of Israel were fully familiar with Omenana, and that was what they were writing down. Or that was, in part, what they were writing down. It's important for us to keep on bringing these things out for the benefit of everybody that regards the Bible as important to their culture, to their religion, to their heritage. Each one, teach one. If you want to have a more intensive engagement with Omenana, you may go to Amazon, look up this book that I produced last year, Igbo Religion and Culture. It's at Amazon. It will give you the shock of your life, you will discover what the Israelites understood their religion and culture to mean. They understood that it meant traditions and religion and culture you shall do in the land, what the Igbos retained as term for religion and culture up to 2022. And as usual, subscribe, share, and go to Amazon and get your copy. Thank you.